We have a lot of red envelope news next week. We have the CPI for USD, which is going to happen on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we have the CPI for GBP. And then on Thursday, we'll be having the unemployment rate for AUD and then the unemployment claims for USD. And then on Friday, we'll be having the retail sales. So I'll be expecting lots of fireworks next week. Now we'll be kicking things off with DXY. DXY so far for the month, this is the monthly time frame by the way. So far for the month has been bearish. Then if we go to the weekly time frame, last week we closed with this giant bearish red candle, and for this week I was expecting the price was going to continue falling until we come into this zone. However, we've closed last week with this bullish candle closing above this support level. However, I'm not confident with DXY right now because price could easily just continue pushing higher, which is a huge probability, and price could also fall back down into 104.269. So whichever way price goes, we are going to be watching what price is going to do. I won't be swinging this. I would actually be looking for day trades, but actually I've been busy this month so far. I have some projects that I'm handling, and again, this month happens to be my bet month. As a matter of fact, yesterday Friday was my birthday, so I've been having fun and handling business. So that is why I've not been calling trades on the Telegram channel as I promised. So guys, please, I am so sorry. I know I promised this, but I've actually not placed any trade on my prop firm account. I've been missing trades and all of that. Prop firm trading is a day trading venture, and I've been busy. I've been missing good trading opportunities. So I mean, just not trade for this month. And if it happens that I don't trade for this month, then our free signal is going to commence by December. Please, I need you to bear with me. All right. So yeah, next week DXY could easily keep pushing higher, or we could push lower. It all depends on how the CPI numbers come out. So if the CPI come out and it's bullish for the US dollar, then we are going to trade in the direction of the USD. All right. And if it comes out negative, that means if it comes out against the US dollar, then we are going to keep pushing lower. Now let's look at USD CHF. USD CHF, between this zone and this zone, price has been bullish. All right, but if we go to the lower time frames like the daily time frame, you will see a clean downtrending market structure. All right, yes, between this zone to this zone, price was bullish, right? But we created a double top around here, 1 2, right? And then we blasted lower, created a new low, a new lower high, a new lower low, then another lower high, because this is actually equal to this previous lower high, right? And it looks like price is pointing downward at the moment. All right, you can see how price has actually broken out of this trend line, went back to retest that trend line, and not just retest that trend line, it actually came to retest the neckline of this double top, and price has been bearish ever since. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame actually has a decision to do around this trend line. So if we come into this trend line and we see a solid bullish engulfing candle, then I will expect price to push up all the way to the top here around 0.90972. All right. However, if we break and close below this trend line on the 4-hour time frame, then I will be expecting price to continue pushing all the way down into 0.89106. All right, so this is the bullish and bearish scenario I have on USD CHF. They are more bearish than bullish at the moment. Now, if we go to Euro USD, I'm actually still in a buy trade on Euro USD. I mean, I bought on Tuesday and price has been moving sideways ever since, because in the early part of last week, price had created this new higher high last 2 weeks, right? So I was expecting a pullback into this zone, just like I said last week, and price did come back into that zone. Then I executed around here on Tuesday night. Yeah, I remember vividly. And price has been moving sideways ever since. However, should price continue higher, then 1.08 339 is going to be my target. This is a swing trade anyways, not on my prop firm. All right. However, if price tops me out, then the next zone I'll be looking for a buy is around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, which is around 1.06370. All right, that's where I'll be looking for buying opportunities from, because clearly the trend has technically changed actually on the lower time frame, because on the higher time frame we are still going to trade downwards. All right, however, I just want to capitalize on this move to the upside. Guys, like I mentioned earlier, yesterday was my birthday. I'm actually tempted not to make this video because I'm actually very, very, very much exhausted at the moment, but time will not permit me to go into every little details, and even the editing of this video may not be like it has always been. All right, so guys, please bear with me. All right, bear with me. All right, next week we'll be back to status quo, hopefully. Like I said earlier, I'm in this trade. If this zone holds, then I'll be expecting price to rise all the way to the top side. And should price top me out on this particular trade, because I'm floating within my loss region at the moment, so should price top me out, then around the 0.5 fib level right here is going to be where I'll be looking for good trading opportunities. Now on AUD USD, I don't have any bullish scenario on AUD USD. AUD USD, I'm still expecting price to drop into 0.62000. I've been in this trade for the past 2 months now. I entered this trade around the 21st or 22nd of last 2 months. So I've been holding. Swap is taking my money, but hopefully price eventually hits my 0.62000 target. Now let's check out the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, you will notice that price has been quite choppy, no significant move up or down. So as it stands, price is still in a range. All right, you can see price come into the zone, blast, went back up, came back down, went back up, came down, went back up, and all of that. All right, so but I still expect AUD USD to drop into 0.62000 eventually. However, if we break above this zone right here, or let me say these zones right here, all right, if we break above it, creating a new higher high here, then I will become bullish on this trade. But as it stands, I'm still expecting price to come to the downside here. Let's see what will look like on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, it pretty much looks like the daily time frame. Do we have a trend line around here? I think we do, right? Price has broken below that trend line. You can see how I made sure I brought this zone and this zone into the trend line, right? And now price has broken below the trend line, so I'll be expecting price to come to the downside. All right, I don't have, like I said, I don't have any bullish scenario for AUD USD. All right, so AUD USD, I am bearish. I'm already in this trade. I'm already in profit because I entered around here last 2 months, right? Let me even put my arrow there. So September, yeah, last 2 months. All right, I've been in this trade. So I'm bearish right now on AUD USD until we create a new higher high, just like I mentioned earlier. So let's check out NZD USD. NZD USD on the weekly time frame. If you've been watching my videos, you know that my target on NZD USD is actually 0.56527. It has always been 0.56527. All right, and as you can see, price is still playing out perfectly. I mean, on the weekly time frame, we are creating lower lows and lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. So hopefully we eventually drop into this zone. So just like AUD USD, I don't have any bullish scenario for NZD USD. So I'm still super bearish on this, because even on this daily time frame, price is clearly creating lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, right? Because this is obviously lower than this, right? Then I'll be expecting a new lower low. Hopefully it drops into my zone. So NZD USD for next week, I am bearish. Let's check out the 4-hour time frame anyways. So the 4-hour time frame, if you are not already in this trade, I actually don't have a solid zone that I could look at. maybe except if I plot a trend line around here. All right, so I'll plot a trend line like this. So should price break below the trend line, let me delete these guys. I'm sorry, let me delete that. All right, so should price take out the trend line, then wait for a pullback or a retest to that trend line, then we'll take a trade to the downside. All right, that's what I'm looking at. This trend line is the deciding factor right now, because we'll come into the trend line and bounce higher, or we'll break below the trend line and keep pushing lower. All right, so that's my outlook on NZD USD. Then next on my list is GBP JPY. Last week I predicted a bullish price action, right? Price was trading around here, so I was expecting a pullback into this yellow zone. It didn't actually come into the yellow zone like I would have loved it to. All right, so next week we could easily see price come into that yellow zone properly. Is this yellow? Anyways, I'm colorblind. Sorry about that, right? So whether it's yellow or whatever, but I'll be expecting price to come into that zone before we continue higher. All right, and there's a possibility that price may not come into that zone. All right, we could just keep pushing higher. So if this happens, then you need to go to a much lower time frame to look for buying opportunity. Let's say price is to continue higher and fails to give us a pullback into the zone, then you want to go to the lower time frame to look for trading opportunities. All right, let me go to the 15 minutes time frame and see if we can have a good trading opportunity. So for GBP JPY, I'll be looking at this zone. All right, so if price rejects this zone on Monday, let's say price this zone holds next week, this zone, right, this green zone, so let's say it holds, then I'll be expecting for price to continue pushing higher, at least until we come into the 186.456 area. But if that zone fails to hold, let's say next week price breaks below this zone, then I'll be expecting a retest, then we could sell to this zone, and then from this zone, which is around 184.480, I'll be expecting a push up to the upside. All right, so this is my outlook on GBP JPY. Then the last on my list today is going to be US oil. All right, or maybe after US oil I'll still look at gold, because I have some guys in the comment section that always ask for gold, so I'll probably do that for them. So if you watched last week's video, remember I talked about how few weeks ago I was expecting price to bounce off this zone, but when we closed below that zone, then I told you categorically that price was going to fall to the downside, at least until we come into this trend line. All right, which actually played out perfectly, and congratulations to those that took this trade. So yeah, price came into this trend line. We are now on the daily time frame anyway, so price came into this trend line, which was my target last week, and you can see how we've seen a massive rejection. So where to next? All right, I can't really say for now, but two things I'm looking at is, should price take out this trend line, and this zone right here, I'll be expecting a retest, then we'll continue trading to the downside, at least until we come into 67.46 area. That is if we break below this zone. Guys, if we break below this zone, we are coming to 67.46. all right, keep that in mind. However, you can see that price is actually rejecting this zone here. All right, so price could just continue pushing higher. But let's go to the 4-hour time frame. But before we go to the 4-hour time frame, let's say price wants to just respect this trend line, but we are going to continue bearish, then I'll be looking for price to come into these regions here. All right, which is around 82.22 area. So I'll be expecting price to do this, come into here, then before we continue lower. Remember, price doesn't move in a straight line. We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, and we have a lower low. So should price come back here, this would be a lower high, then I'll be expecting a lower low around here. All right, so but for me to buy into this market, I'm not in a rush to buy into this market. For me to buy into this market, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. I have a trend line at the top here. So for me to swing this, should price have the intention of pushing higher, then we have to take out this trend line that has been tested at least twice historically. So we have to take it out, come for a retest before we continue higher. Then if this should play out, my target will be 95.03. All right, so that's my outlook on oil. Let's look at gold. So if you watched last week's video on gold, you remember I told you that I'm skeptical. Even though I was expecting price to continue pushing higher, I also established the fact that I'm skeptical about this zone and the price will possibly push to the downside. Of course, I wasn't looking at this trade because I wasn't actually interested in the downside of things, right? But first of all, I want you to notice something, that we've created a new higher high. All right, so I'll be expecting a higher low at some point before we continue higher. So two things I'm looking for is, if this zone holds, then I would like to see price continue higher. But if this zone breaks, this particular zone, which is around 1936.28 area, if it breaks, then I'll be expecting a pullback. Then we'll continue lower, at least until we come into 1915.30 area. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame so that we could see things better. So on the 4-hour time frame, you could see that we created a head and shoulders pattern here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and now price has closed below, right? So just like I mentioned in the previous time frame, which was the daily time frame, I'll be expecting for price to break below the 1936.29 area, then go back for a retest, then we trade into 1915.83 area. All right, probably before we continue bullish from there. I hope you get the point. All right, so that is my bias on gold, and there you have it, guys, the analysis for next week. Like I said earlier, apologies for improper editing this time, guys. I'm having fun. I mean, I'm a forex trader. I'm always cooked up on the charts. But November, December, I deserve the rest, right? I deserve to chill, right? And yesterday, like I said earlier, which was Friday, the 10th of November, happened to be my birthday. I'm sorry, I wanted to organize a giveaway, right? Just to reach out to the community, but I've been busy. All right, so by next weekend, we are going to do that giveaway. I'll probably give some cash out to some of us. All right, so just stay tuned to the channel. I'll make that announcement within next week. All right, and if you want to learn how to do this, how to analyze the market, how to make trading decisions, how to control your risk, how to keep your psychology level active, then you want to grab our mentorship program. The link is in the description of this video down below. Our WhatsApp link is also in the description down below. And if you're a prop firm trader, then we have our recommended prop firms you should be trading with. They pay out, they take their customers seriously, and if you use our special code, you're going to get a special discount on your purchase. So once again, I appreciate you if you made it to the end of this video, and I wish you a successful trading week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.